What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, I want to touch on some things real quick. And I want to talk about these fights that we want to see. We want to see, fights that should happen. And how this era, for whatever foolish reason, people just don't understand real combat, real warriors mentality. They don't. Even the fighters, a lot of them don't. Okay, so let me make this clear. When fighters see a fighter go in the ring and shine and look really good, a true warrior goes, I want to fight that guy right there. Okay? If you're fighting someone and they have a belt, you're fighting someone and it's like a really lucrative fight financially, okay, it's a business. So it all makes sense. But if you're fighting someone, because let's just say, for example, let's say you have 4 champions. You choose to fight the weakest champion, right? Not because you're still learning as a fighter, like where you're like a prospect, but you're hot and you're good. So you say, I'm going to take them all one by one. And you start from the weakest champion and work up. That I can get. I can understand. Now, the thing with that is if somebody puts you on blast, one of the champions, and say, you fought him because you know he's an easy win. Come fight me. Right? There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, in about another year, I'll be ready for you. There's nothing at all wrong with saying that. That's part of the problem, is the fighters don't say that. They jump online, tweet. I did this, I did that, send the contract, blah, 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 I did this. I mean, they're just talking. Send the contract is nothing but a catchphrase now. I told you guys, last year, I think it was, or 2 years ago, I told you. I remember when Muhammad Ali was being interviewed, and this is when his name was Cassius Clay. And I remember the interviewer asked him, what did he think about Sonny Liston and Floyd Patterson? He gave them both a lot of credit. And he was talking about Sonny Liston, and he said Sonny Liston, he hit so hard he could nearly break a man's arm by hitting him in the arm and stuff and everything. And when he asked Muhammad Ali, does he think that he's ready? Would he be ready for a fight with Sonny Liston? Muhammad Ali said, well, I don't think right now. I think another year or two. About another year or two, I should be ready for both of them. About another year or two. Yeah. And there was nothing wrong with that. And in that amount of time, he was ready. And he did his thing. Here's the thing when you say a guy's not ready, he needs another 2 or 3, 4 fights. We don't know what type of progression that fight is going to have. Like when you heard Anthony Joshua say to Tyson Fury and all the other guys, it's best that you guys fight me now because I'm still learning. Remember that? It's only going to get worse. AJ has peaked already, man. It's all about AJ remembering how to put all this shit together and raising his IQ, his boxing knowledge to understand when to do things and when not to and what to do. But he's peaked already. So it is what it is. All of those guys, Fury, Wilder, all of them, they peaked already. They're as good as they're going to be. So now the key is consistency, like I said, of putting it together. But Ali said that there's nothing at all wrong with that. Ali was being real. Now imagine Ali talking, oh, hell yeah, I'm ready. Yeah. Now Sonny Liston goes, okay, meet me in the ring then. Next fight, me and you. And now Ali has to make excuses to not fight him. There's nothing wrong with being honest. See, but when you try as a fan to say, I think he needs another 2 or 3 fights, you don't know how many fights certain fighters need. You don't know what they need. I remember when I used to watch Jermaine Taylor fight. And he was another guy. I always forget this guy's name. And then when I'm not thinking about him, sometimes his name just pops up in my head and I'll remember his name. But Jermaine Taylor, when I watched him fight, I thought Jermaine Taylor was a good fighter. I didn't think he was as good as the way the commentators made him sound, but I thought he was a good fighter. And the thing about it is when, he fought Hopkins, and people got to remember something. Hopkins was a late bloomer. So when he fought Hopkins, it was one of those situations where he caught Hopkins at the right time. Remember, they fought twice. Hopkins didn't get the decision in either one of those fights, and then he went up to light heavyweight and got a belt there. Okay? But Jermaine Taylor, Chad Dawson is the other guy. he was a guy that I looked at, Ray Boom Boom Mancini. There's certain guys that I look at and I'm like, I don't see them the way the commentators are making them sound. And I said, the one thing I said about Jermaine Taylor, I said, because Jermaine Taylor used to go to the ropes a lot. And he'd stand and just get caught. He's like a deer in the headlights when he go to the ropes. And I just watch him do certain things and he would just look unsure of himself in there. What I'm saying, I study the weaknesses in fighters as well. I watch what they do good. I watch what they don't do good. All of these things. But people go in fanboy mode. In their minds, the fighter they like is the perfect fighter. They do everything well. So you have fighters that think they can stand. One thing that I see, a lot of fighters have more ego than they do ability. You got guys that think they can stand and bang with just anyone. You got guys that think they can just outbox anyone. You got guys that think that they're better than they are. Now, a perfect example, Stephen Fulton's a good boxer, but Stephen Fulton said he think his all-around skill set is going to be too much for Niue. He just think he's too slick, too sharp for Niue. I didn't see it that way. I didn't see it that way. Hell, I was pulling for Fulton to somehow pull it off, but I didn't see Fulton being able to do it. And it's never a personal thing for me. I don't know these people personally, but I didn't see him as being able to really outbox Niue. We talked about that before, but in his mind, he thought that he saw something in Niue that he was just going to be too good for. Jamel Charlo said that when he was watching Canelo fight, he's like, man, I could beat this dude, man. Now, maybe at 154, I don't know. I can't just say it's a guarantee because he fought the way he fought at 168. He didn't want that. He didn't want to feel that power. So maybe I don't know. But point is, he thought he saw something in Canelo that he could exploit, and didn't work that way. And he agreed to 168. Errol Spence said he think his overall skill set is going to be too much for Crawford, and he's going to be too strong for Crawford. See, this is exactly the point what I'm telling you guys, man. We've heard fighters say so many times that they just think they have too much. Shane Mosley said he think he's going to be too much man for Floyd Mayweather. They're going to set traps for each other. You're going to fill each other out, and it's going to be like a chess match, And but I think at the end I'm going to be too much man for him. As soon as he said the shit he said, I'm like, yeah, I didn't think he was going to beat Floyd anyway. But and especially when you look at Shane's track record, he's always had a problem fighting slick boxers. But when he said it's going to be a chess match and they're going to set traps, I'm like, yeah, you already fucked up. Because you're nowhere near as good as Floyd with that type of shit, man. You got to go in there and try to rough Floyd up. And I don't mean fight dirty and all this goofy shit that even commentators have made those type of comments because of their hatred and dislike for Floyd. You just got to, throw elbows. You got to headbutt. I've heard commentators make these stupid comments. Like, wow. So go in there and fight dirty. Don't go in there and box. Go in there and fight dirty. And that's what's going to win? Yeah, winner by headbutt. Yeah, Shane Mosley, right. So what I'm saying, people, is a lot of times fighters, even though that they're good, they're not as good as they think they are. Ray Leonard got so mad at Duran. He said, the way he was cursing him out and talking shit about his wife. I think he touched his wife, slapped her butt or something like that and all that. And he said that, he wanted to beat Duran at his own game. So if Duran's plan was to get in Sugar Ray's head, guess what? It worked like a charm. But Ray Leonard, in the same fight, couldn't realize, what, man, nah. Let me get back to what made me Ray Leonard and being able to adjust to my opponents and going in and fight and do what I do. Nah, he stuck with the same game plan. And it didn't work. And in the rematch, it just looked like Duran didn't even belong in the ring with him. Okay, so when we talk about fighters and what their abilities are, we try to sit here and make them better than what they are because we like this fighter better than this fighter and all this type of stuff. That doesn't change anything, y'all. We settle fights in the ring. That's what fights are settled. That's when you find out who the best is or who the best was that night. That's how fights are settled. This era of everybody getting the attitude because certain guys want to fight certain guys. It's like guys like Jaron Ennis and Keyshawn Davis, when you see them in the position where they're trying to get the fights and they can't get the guys that they want, you have to make your own way. Don't wait for anybody to pass you the torch. You go, you make your own torch, and you light that motherfucker up, and you light it, and you keep it lit, and you build your own brand. And you know what happens? Just like when Keyshawn told Tank, I don't need you. I just want to fight you. I don't need you. That's the mentality fighters need to understand and have. Once it gets to the point when you start, like, if you want to fight a guy and he's with it, hey, let's make it happen. Cool. But when you have a guy that's making excuses to not fight you, regardless to why, regardless, the point is they're not going to fight you. You have to move on. You have to find ways to make noise and make your presence felt. But you have to go in the ring and back it up. And, you know, for Jaron Ennis, you know, for Abdullah Mason, for Keyshawn Davis, for all these guys that's in here making their way and making waves in boxing, keep doing what y'all are doing, because at the end of the day, man, right now, whatever ages y'all are, y'all gonna look one day and like, damn, I'm 35 already. Damn, believe me, and when it happens, if you can look at your resume and say, I'm proud of my body of work right now at 35, then you've done what you were supposed to. Because you got a lot of guys that don't start getting recognition till they're 31, 32. And then they retire, and out of all the fights they had, they might have had 2 people that really had a name. And a lot of times that name was like not even the very best in the division that they beat, but were one of the best. You understand what I mean? So it's like, I say kill the ego, understand what boxing is, and make your money. Because I'm pretty sure a person would rather in their career rich and can take care of their families than to have a beautiful legacy but broke and homeless. Don't have nothing to show for it. So the business has traded legacy for money. So what you have to understand right now is you're in a sport, like Anthony Joshua said, and Floyd been telling you that forever. Boxing don't necessarily love you back, man. You understand what I mean? As long as you know you can contribute to the sport, as long as you're doing what you're doing, and you're making money, guess what? You're that guy. They're gonna invest in you. They want to make these fights happen. The second that they start to see you slowing down, okay, now they want to use you to build the next guy. That's just the nature of the beast. So we need to understand and support the idea of fighters settling who's best in the ring. Not this bullshit of getting attitudes and arguing over guys not fighting. You know, this is a very toxic behavior, man. Like, fighters going into the ring to do battle to make their money. And if a fighter can't be honest and say, hey, you know what? I'm not ready for you right now. Or they don't even have to say the words, I'm not ready for you. Just say, give me another year or 2. I'm on your ass. Simple. You're going to have to answer to people when it comes to, if you're ready, why are you not fighting? Settle it in the ring, y'all. That's what boxing is. Not fighting on Twitter and Instagram and all that BS. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings here other people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.